Welcome back, you guys, to another session. We're just gonna get straight into it. So let me do a previously on for you to refresh your guys' memory of what went on last session. So last session, you started the session uh, with a captured Zeruri Lee on the neck of the red dragon Amos. You guys spent some time kind of like deliberating what to do with Zeruri Lee now that he was captured, but you kind of took your time a little bit, and it allowed Zeruri Lee to kind of wiggle his hands free, and he was able to summon this shadowy form who started to attack you guys immediately. Harvey and Folly kind of focused their attention on the shadowy form, um, but while that's happening, the shadowy form gets an opportunity to undo the restraints of Zeruri Lee, and then goes back to attacking Harvey and Folly. While that's happening, Danni and Betty kind of focus their attention on Zeruri Lee as he tries to continue the task that he was up here to do. But after a little bit of combat, Harvey and Folly work together to kind of restrain the shadowy form, and then Harvey throws the shadowy form off the neck of the dragon, and we see like a little shot of the shadowy form falling and yelling that this won't be the last time that you see the shadow bastard. And then we flip back to Betty and Danni, and we see Betty launch a bolt into Zeruli, nicking an artery in his arm, and Zeruli bleeds out on the neck of the dragon. You then burn Zeruli's body with the aid of Danny's elemental magic, and once you are all satisfied with the way that Zeruli's body burnt up, Harvey and Danni kind of pilfer the ashes of Zeruli's corpse. And then once you guys are satisfied, you all head back to Annabelle's to rest up after being up all night fighting Zeruli and the Shadow of Aster. And so, you guys take the day to rest. I imagine you all are super tired after being up all night. Do you think any of you would have done anything the rest of that day after returning from your encounter with Zeruli?
Don't think so.
Is now a time to heal?
Yes, I believe that you guys did do a level up and healed when you were burning Zeruli's body.
Right.
So if anyone needs to heal up, they can definitely do that. Like if they didn't do it before, they can do that now.
When we level up, do we go back to our max hit points? Or do we do that mechanically still?
That's a good question. I feel like it's part of the make camp move. Let me double check, though. I don't think that's part of the level up move. No, you do not heal up from your level up. You heal from the make camp move. Oh wait, yeah. You heal up from the make camp move, and you heal damage equal to half of your max HP.
Okay. So can we do make camp?
Yeah. You guys are at Annabelle's, and you guys can definitely take the make camp move. And you guys can heal up and level up if you haven't already. But it sounds like you all take it pretty easy for the rest of that day.
I guess like just to make sure I say this, I do have to. I think I do have to commune at some point, but that's just to recover my spell. So just want to make sure I settle out that happens at some point.
Okay, yeah. Could you tell us again what it looks like when Folly communes?
Yeah. So Yeah, so I think traditionally I've kind of said before that, Folly was raised with the faith of Aster, and after, having Ash as his patron, is kind of just sort of used like the same prayers that Folly was raised with, but like just swaps the names out. But I think this is like the first time that Folly is like trying to approach communion in a little bit of a different way.
Ooh.
I think Ash is like kind of a god of like decay as well as death, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think what Folly does, Folly actually goes, leaves Annabelle's apartment and goes out into the city and is going to look for. Are there any trees in the city?
Yeah. I do believe there are some trees.
Yeah, I think Folly is like just kind of like wandering, not really with a like clear objective in mind, and is going to come across like a tree that is like in a park or along the side of the road or something that has, how like trees have like, those big chunks of like fungus growing out of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like big ledges. And I think when Folly sees that, he's going to approach and like put their hand like on the fungus, just like wrap their hand over it, and is going to commune that way. And I think, they're just kind of like standing there, like mumbling words under their breath. But yeah, I don't know, I think is kind of improvising for the first time, so is just mumbling a little bit and, like, oh, Ash, who has, bestowed upon me these powers that I've been given, is trying to avoid thinking about what happened with Zuri Lee, which was not what was supposed to happen. But yeah, this is kind of the first time that Folly is trying to actually go about worship or prayer like on their own instead of just following what they were, the kind of rules and prayers that they were raised with.
Right. I think that's excellent. I think you do that. And I don't know. I don't want to obviously speak for Folly, but like I don't know how confident they are in doing this, or if they like kind of feel foolish for like going out and trying this new way. But
they definitely like look over their shoulder a couple of times to make sure no one's like looking at them.
Looking at them weird, yeah. And you don't notice anyone looking at you weird. And you kind of start your prayers, and then before you start to feel too foolish, you feel like a warm energy emanating from the mushroom that you're touching, and it's comforting, and there might even be like a slight glow to it, and you feel kind of like the power of your spells kind of like returning to you, and you know that Ash is happy with your prayer and is happy with you in this moment.
Okay, sick, cool.
Yeah, and so you have like I don't know, you feel good after doing this. Like you feel rejuvenated, you feel enlivened. Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent. So the rest of the day kind of goes by. I think you all maybe are processing what happened individually inside of Annabelle's, or like if you guys walk out or take a walk, you guys are all kind of like together but separate with your own thoughts. And then the day passes, and it's the next day, and you guys are hopefully feeling a bit better. I know Betty was having nightmares from right after the event with Zuri Lee. So hopefully Betty got a better night's sleep. But it's the following morning, and there is a knock on the door. Knock. And Annabelle gets up and answers the door. And at the door is a courier holding several letters and a couple of parcels. And the courier drops them all off, and Annabelle closes the door, shuts the door, and turns around, and she kind of has like her arms full of letters and parcels. And she goes over to the table, a little confused because she doesn't normally like get like this amount of letters or packages like ever. And Annabelle kind of like furrows her brow, and she goes, "There's a letter for you, Folly, and also one for you, Betty." And Annabelle hands Folly and Betty each of their letters. Let's see, who wants to open theirs first?
Yeah, for sure. All right. To Master Fairweather, I do hope this letter finds you well during your stay on Amos. I look forward to hearing your report upon your return to Antara. I think that we should meet when you do get back. You can find me during the day at the mortuary located on the south side of town. To aid you on the rest of your mission, I included something that I thought you might find useful. I look forward to finally meeting you in person. Your companions are also welcome to join you. Until then, maintain equipoise, Master Fairweather. And it's signed M. I'm supposed to roll plus whiz. Okay, that is my whiz is like a plus 3 now, so that is going to be a 10. On a 10 plus, you received a coin of remembering.
Excellent. That is awesome. Let me actually get you that. I should have. I forgot to include what the coin of remembering does, so that you can write it down.
Cool.
So a coin of remembering, it can be described as, at a glance, it appears to be a simple copper coin, but in truth, it is enchanted. Its bearer can, at any time, redeem it to know immediately one fact that has been forgotten. The coin vanishes thereafter. It does not have to be a thing forgotten by the bearer, but it cannot be known. Known as in quotations. Interpretation of the stipulation is left to the gods. If the coin is unsuccessful, it will still paint an image in the mind's eye of someone or something that does remember what was sought. Cool. So while Folly is looking over their letter, Betty, are you ready to open your letter?
I'd like to do a scene first.
Ooh, okay, perfect.
So I think I'm having nightmares that first night. And then I think that second night, I'm having like a similar nightmare. I'm like at my family's estate. Not estate. It's like a little hovel.
Oh.
But like my uncle, when he wasn't in the military, was like a groundskeeper type. So he like bred dogs. And like in the memory, I'm remembering like this event that happened, which is that like Blue's mom got rabies and went after all the other like pups, except for Bleu, which is why I have Bleu. And in the memory, I had to like put Blue's mom down. And it was like it was like one of those moments where my uncle was like, "You got to do it," and I was like, "I don't want to." And it was like, this will be a learning experience for you about the cycle of life. And so I think everything is going to be like that because I know that that's how it happened. But I think in the dream, Blue gets bit, and I wake up with like a fright because I took the ability Unnatural Ally. Your animal companion is now a monster, not an animal. They get +2 velocity and +1 instinct.
Whoa.
So I want to do like a little scene in the dead of night where like Folly is like asleep, like slobber just like drips onto like Folly's face as like Blue, who is now like on all fours, like a good like 4 or 5 feet tall, and whose like face has gone from this like silvery blue to like a albino white flesh with like puffy pink under the eyes and these like jaundiced yellow eyes. It's just like hovering over Folly. And I'm gonna be like, Folly, we need to have a talk there for a second. I saw you put that wheel down. I was really, I may not know that much about faith, but I know Aster. From you talking about Aster, that's one of the gods of death, is it not there?
Folly is still mostly asleep. Is kind of like, oh, it's like wiping like the slobber off of their face. Yes, Aster was the god I was raised with. That's the god that most of the league worship down in Antara. It's he's not that popular, throughout the outside of Antara, but he's well liked by physicians and healers.
Why's your god telling you to go after another god there?
Folly,
Death.
Folly like sits up at question: if Folly tries to sit up, is Bleu gonna let them sit up?
I think so. I think I don't think that they are like stopping you. They're not in a way that is like blocking you. They're like over, they're not on your chest, they're like over you to the side, so you would have to like kind of like go at an angle.
Okay, well, Folly's gonna like kind of back up a little bit and like sit up so they're actually looking, well, they're not flat on their back, and says, my god isn't sending me after other gods. It's I don't know what's going on here, but it's not like that.
Okay. Sleep tight. And I'm just gonna like back into the fucking shadows and like go back to bed.
Yeah,
Creepy.
I don't think Folly gets a lot of sleep after that.
Oh no.
So yeah, in the morning, everybody, I assume, if anybody asks me about why Bleu is 5 feet tall and has an albino face now, I'm gonna be like, oh gosh, I don't know what you're talking about. That's how Blue's always been there. Silly.
Oh my God.
And then I'm just acting normal when this letter comes.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Okay, so Annabelle hands you, Betty, the letter, and this is the letter that you get. And if you'd like to read that out loud for everyone, you may.
Okay. We gotta move now. Okay, everybody. Everybody get up. I'll read as we go. We gotta walk and talk. It's been great getting to know you. And
Why?
The city garrison no longer requires your timely return back to Antara. However, our investigation into Molly Walton has regretfully changed course due to her mysterious escape. You may now wish to return there post-haste to hear the details of this incident. To be clear, this is a request, not an order. Nevertheless, I would appreciate the prompt return of you and your companions. Included in this missive are 4 tickets there. And then I gotta roll wisdom.
I can't fucking believe she escaped.
Okay, I got a 9, so I gotta pick 2 from the above.
Cool. What 2 do you choose?
I think she sends with this, let's see, just a bunch of, yeah, so she sends some bandages and some adventuring gear.
Excellent. If you already have some adventuring gear, you can just kind of like just increase the uses by 5 if you still have any.
Okay. Cool.
So Betty receives and reads this letter from the Antara City Garrison, and it is informing Betty that Molly has escaped mysteriously. It sounded like Betty kind of wanted to like get the ball rolling immediately, but Annabelle walks up to you, Harvey, with kind of with a pale face, and she says, "Harvey, I need you to read this letter." And she is going to send you or give you the letter that was addressed to her.
Ooh.
And it should be coming to you.
Okay. What? Dear Annabelle, I have some dreadful news. Your cousin Benji has escaped prison and has killed your cousins, Lucas and Jack. The Breath of the Dragon has informed me that they suspect that Benji is trying to go after the rest of his brothers too. Teardrop on the paper. I can't even finish that sentence. The Breath of the Dragon has been able to get into contact with most of my sons except a couple, including Harvey. That's partially why I'm writing this to you. You and Harvey were always so close, and I was hoping you could reach out to him and pass along the news. I sent a letter down to Antara, but I seem to always have trouble getting into contact with him. Thank you so much, dear. I hope your studies are going well on Amos. Please visit soon. Aunt Dana. P.S. If you by some miraculous happenstance see him, can you please give him this? Oh, and I gotta roll con. But my brothers are dead.
A couple of them are.
Couple.
Or a couple more of them are.
Don't like the way you said that.
It's the evil brother, isn't it?
Ooh, I got a
Nice.
7.
Excellent.
Now where's the thing? Where'd it go?
Here, I'll share it with you again. So it just pops up.
All right. E7. 5 coin. Your mom doesn't have much to spare after sending out money to all her sons. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Annabelle looks at you with a pale face, and she goes, "I'm so sorry about your brothers. I know that this couldn't have come at a worse time."
No one's actually like seen my face as I've like held the letter up, and I'm gonna like lower it down, beaming this big old smile across my face. Well, seems I have some vengeance to dole out, don't I?
Annabelle's taken aback a little bit, but then she the color kind of returns to her face a little bit, and she kind of shakes her head and smiles slightly, and she goes, "That's just like you, Harvey." Okay, and then while kind of all of this commotion is happening, Danni, you feel some odd movement in your pack.
Ooh, yummy, odd movement.
And I don't know, I don't want to speak for Danni, but if they go and open their pack, you see your objects in there moving strangely. Yeah. So Danni, your pack is kind of rustling about as if there's something inside of it. And when you go to open up your pack, you see your objects kind of like bouncing up and down a little bit, and all of a sudden 4 large spiders crawl out of your pack, and the egg sac that you had stolen from the giant spider queen, who knows how long ago at this point, they crawl out, and the spiders are crawling around you. They do not seem vicious towards you in any way. In fact, they seem in a weird spiderly way, almost cuddly.
Sure.
How
Sure.
big are they?
Right now, I was imagining they're about the size of maybe a large tarantula, or maybe even the size of a huntsman spider. But I don't know how much spiders kind of creep you out, and so I was trying to think of a spider that is the least creepy spider. And if you, I don't know, I was thinking that they look more like jumping spiders. I don't know if you've seen any pictures of jumping spiders, but some of them are actually kind of adorable.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have seen pictures. Oh, those little guys.
Yeah, they have their eyes are cute, and they got those 2 big ones, and I don't know. They're like really smart spiders. Some of them do like mating dance rituals, and it's super cute. And they're like, instead of using webs, they are kind of more active hunters, um, and so they're a little bit quicker, and they're pretty cool.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and so yeah, if you keep them around, they're gonna get big. And what I'm thinking is, if you keep them around long enough, they can eventually be used as mounts.
Wow.
Ooh.
But for right now, I'm gonna give you the move Poisoner from the Thief class, and when you spend some time with your little spider babies, um, you can extract some of their venom and apply their venom to any weapons that you'd like.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna like take them out and be like, well, aren't you the cutest little things I've ever seen? And then I'm just gonna like arrange them on my head and or shoulders so that they like have a little place to stay. And I'll be like, I'll figure out something more formal later, but for now you guys need to hang out here. And just start looking for crickets, I guess.
That is adorable. Yeah. You kind of put them on your head and shoulders, and I think they're not stationary. I think they kind of like hop up and down off of your shoulders and onto your head, and so they're like, there's almost like this constant movement of these spiders
Oh my
around your head and shoulders.
You're making me want to get these spiders for real. I saw a nature video about them, and first of all, they are very cute. And plus, they look like when they walk on you, they probably feel like tarantulas. And if you've ever had a tarantula crawl on you, it's like a very satisfying feeling, and or creepy, depending on like who you are. But I thought it was very cool.
Oh,
Their
that's
little
so.
claws kind of grab you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, how interesting. Yeah, and they have like the jumping spiders. They're kind of like furry too, a little bit like a spider. That's actually how they hear. Their little hairs on their body act as like our eardrums, so they can hear vibrations.
Dude,
Yeah, they are pretty sweet.
did you do research on them for this, or did you know about them already?
I did a little bit of research on them for this, and then I also knew a little bit about them prior.
Cool.
But I really like them now after doing some more research. Okay, cool. So you all kind of had 4 separate things happen to you. How do you all react as all of this kind of like happens at once?
Well, I'm obviously just pushing it down, not actually dealing with anything, and fixating on seething rage.
Excellent. I feel like as Harvey is concerned, he just like received like one of the worst possible news, which was Molly escaping, and then to top it off, a couple more of your brothers were killed by another brother, and it sounds like that brother is coming to hunt you and the rest of your brothers.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to make my position as obvious as possible.
Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Let them come.
That's perfect. That is perfect. And then Betty and Folly. Folly, your news was, a lot gentler than everyone else's news. Betty, are you trying to corral everyone out of Annabelle's?
I am until Annabelle gives the information. And then I'm going to pause and I'm going to say, this brother of yours there, Harvey.
Mm.
Do
Yeah.
you reckon he knows a way to find you?
I really hope so, but I don't think he does. If my mom has a hard time getting a hold of me, I couldn't imagine that he would have an easy time.
Well, where were your brothers before they got taken out there?
As far as I know, most of my brothers stayed on Ravunth. Like they might take the occasional excursion off to like go to Amos or Antara, but I think typically their lives are rooted on Ravunth.
Well, here's the question there. I'm all for you getting revenge there, but we have a job there to collect for.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying we don't need to sideline with this. He wants to kill me, so like I'm sure he'll come for me, and when he does, I'm gonna bash his head into the sidewalk.
Are there more brothers there? Though?
There's so many brothers.
Mhm.
I have so many brothers.
There are.
Hold on.
I think-
I'm gonna rifle around through my journal. Just hold on. I have a list of my siblings here somewhere.
Yeah, I was using your list.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Here it is. How many do I have again? I have 61. Nope. Oh right, I have 72 sisters. I only have 12 brothers. That's right. I only have 12 brothers,
Because most of them died in your battle royale.
and 2 of them just died, and there's only 1 left.
No.
I mean, not only 1 left. I mean, I don't know why I said it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 of them just died, and there's an extra one that is going to die. Yeah, we're gonna be down to 9 brothers after this.
I think Folly is going to speak up at this point. Aren't you worried about this guy killing some of your other brothers?
A little bit, but at the same time, we all survived the battle royale. Jack wasn't necessarily on top at the end. He was just a wily little bitch who knew how to get someone when their back was turned. So, you know, they should be on alert, but I think if they're on alert, they'll be fine. Unless you got really strong in prison. Then we might have trouble.
Yeah, just to I wanted to clarify because I didn't make this clear in the letter. Benji, who's Benjamin on your list? Benji.
Oh, sorry, it's Benji who's doing it. It's Jack and Lucas who died.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I was getting. Yeah.
That's okay. Benji's the one who killed your favorite brother. Just so we're clear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. This time, I ain't letting the cops take him.
Yeah. So you guys are all discussing this. Do you guys still plan on going back to Antara then?
Are the tickets that we have, do they have a location on them, or are they just like tickets to the airship?
I think the way that I was thinking about them, they were kind of like airline tickets, where like it's for a destination, like it's an airship going to a specific location.
Well, we don't even. Okay, then I think, in so many words, I'll probably say like, it was like a whole thing to get up here. We don't know when the Pegasus traders are gonna like go back, if they haven't already, right? They might have already left in the time since we've been here a couple days. So I think we should go back to Antara for like a layover, and then we can see from there about getting more information and using whatever money that we may or may not get from this job to like fund tickets to go to Ravunth, because I don't know how we're gonna get to Ravunth from here, especially since it's like always moving.
I mean, I don't think we need to go to Ravunth.
I mean, if you don't want to, like, I was just trying to think, like, because that's where your brother is, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where he would have been when he killed the other 2, right?
Yeah.
But if he's trying to kill all the brothers, he's gonna come looking for me in Antara, not on Ravunth.
We should
At
wait.
least, yeah. I almost feel like we'll be okay. Harvey definitely doesn't want more of his brothers to die, but he also doesn't think it's pragmatic or worth the time to go try to chase him down.
You think he's coming for you already?
I may not be next, but I think it would just be a giant wild goose chase until eventually he finds us anyways. You know what I mean?
It's like if you're with someone and you get lost, just stay put till they find you. Don't start looking.
Exactly. Yeah, like I think Harvey is furious, but he doesn't have good coping mechanisms. And he definitely thinks that our energies are better focused on tracking down Molly, getting our payout, just figuring out next steps, you know?
Okay. Then yeah, so we have that discussion in like X amount of words, right? Maybe
Right.
not the exact ones that we just used. So yeah, and then Folly read his letter out loud, right? Because I heard it, but I don't know if Betty heard it.
Right.
I don't think Foley read it out loud necessarily, but I think after reading it before all the other more, before all the other bigger news happened, Foley was like, "Oh, they're the person who's paying us is said to meet them back on Antara." So you're aware of at least that part of the letter. It says,
Okay, yeah, and I think we should all go back to Antara.
Yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's go back to Antara.
Cool.
Before we leave, like as we're all like walking out, what's happening? Oh, mystery cake from off screen.
Ooh.
I think before we leave, we're like heading out the door, and I'm just gonna like Annabelle turns around, and I'm just like looming over her with those like big massive presents, and like Blue's head is like right there, and I say, Annabelle, cousins aren't in danger from Harvey's brother, are they?
It doesn't seem like it. And on top of that, it sounds like he's going only after brothers. So in all likelihood, I should be safe.
I don't know. I feel like Annabelle was like a really good host. I just want to like show her that she was like a good host. And I didn't really sleep here too many nights because I was in and out like the whole fucking time. I'm just gonna give her like another coin.
Oh, okay, that's nice. She accepts it gratefully, and she goes, "I really appreciate you and everyone letting me tag along. Essentially, I know I kind of forced myself in on it a little bit, but this experience was definitely eye-opening, and I think I'm gonna have the best article for the end of the semester."
I like am in the middle of shaking her hand. I'm like, oh, you can't publish that. No, you're gonna have to keep that hush hush there. You're not talking about this at all.
What?
Get me? Yeah?
But
Look me in the eyes right now. Look my dog in the eyes right now. Can't publish that story. I want you to stay safe. Do you understand me? I would hate for anything bad to happen to you.
oh no.
If bad happens to you, I want you to come stay with me. There's always a couch waiting for you in Antara.
I think Annabelle thinks to like argue with you, but then I don't know. You have like this. Betty has this strange presence or like pressure. You were saying that I don't think Betty's ever necessarily used, especially against Annabelle before, and it kind of freaks her out a little bit. And she goes, "All right, I'm gonna hold on to this, but as soon as it's safe for me to release this story, I'm gonna do it."
Oh, Oh, sure, there. And we'll all do a tell-all. It'll be great for you. You'll get your big break, but you can't tell anybody until then. Understood? And if you need a place to lie low, people are pushing pressure on you, saying, release the story. You just come on over to old Auntie Betty's house. You can sleep on my couch. I'll make you coffee. It won't be good, but it'll be strong there. Anyway, best of luck. Great host there. And I like give her like a weird ant kiss on like both cheeks. And I like squeeze one of them way too hard. And then I slap her on the shoulder, like a weird mix of like feminine and masculine energy. And I almost knock her over. And then we get the fuck out of there.
Excellent.
I
Yeah.
think,
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Real quick. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I know I've asked this before. How much is like a 1 coin value again?
Yeah, let me give you a couple of examples. I have some right here.
Or more specifically, how much money is 5 coin?
Yeah, so like 5 coin, like what you could buy with just 5 coin would be stuff like some bandages that like are able to heal people a few times.
Okay.
For like 1 coin, you're getting like a bundle of arrows.
Okay.
Or like a throwing dagger, and then for like 5 coins, you can buy like a spear.
How much is like a crossbow?
A crossbow
35.
is 35.
35. Whoa.
And 100 bow is 100.
It's so
and-
expensive. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Danny's gonna like slide in from the window where they were like, because they slept on the roof at the end of the last episode so they could invoke their new move.
Right.
Anyway, swing in the window and just say like, glad to hear we're leaving. Looks like acid rain out there. And then they're gonna like gesture to their little baby jumper spiders and say, this is chaos, division, violence, and spite.
Fucking perfect.
How many? 4?
Chaos, division, violence, and then they like hold up their hand and spite. I'm manifesting what I hope my sons will bring into the world.
Ooh.
Can I try something?
What would you like to try, Betty?
While we're waiting at the airship station,
Yeah.
can Bleu and I, or maybe Bleu can't help me with this, I'll let you tell me. Can we bless these spiders? Not for any mechanical effect. I just want them to be blessed under the god of random killing and murder.
Oh. Huh. Yeah. I don't see why not. I feel like that's a cool in fiction thing that can happen. And since you don't have a mechanical move, called bless or something that does something mechanical, I think that's something that I will be able to draw upon later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I roll for it?
Ooh, should you roll for it? Yeah, go ahead and roll plus whiz.
Can I add Blue's cunning or no?
Blue. Yeah, I feel like that's fine, especially now that they're kind of like a monster. I feel like, or an unnatural companion, or however it's called.
I want to try to lend some of his monstrousness to these little abominations. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna like I'm gonna pull my hand under like Blue's maw and let some of his like, because he's this big Neapolitan mastiff, and I let drool drip into my hand, and then I like anoint all of the spiders across their 4 eyes, and I got snake eyes, but with Blue added on, that's I have a +5, so it's still a 7.
That's still a 7.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay. Okay, I want to see. I'm trying to think.
If I can have limited effect, I really mostly want to bless violence because the name feels fitting.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know because it was okay. Yeah, I think that's good. I think because it was violence, chaos, division, and spite, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like the god who Betty's kind of like in communion with right now. I feel like violence is the one that kind of like resonates with that god's like aspect, and I think you do like violence last, like you bless violence last, and so like the first three kind of nothing happens, but you see kind of like a strange reaction in violence, um, and I think yeah, I feel like you see like there's like a small glow that kind of envelops violence, and then I think they uh, hop onto your hand, Betty, and uh, bite the mark that's on the back of your hand, drawing a little bit of blood, and then hops back onto Danny's arm. Um, and you can tell that you blessed violence with something a little extra from this god.
I like lean into Danny and I say, the spider known as violence will unleash great suffering and pain onto this world.
I'm gonna like hold your hand in like an oddly like earnest gesture and be like, "Thank you."
Anyways,
That's perfect. That's awesome. Yeah. And so Danny's spiders kind of go back to crawling all around her, or all around them, um, and you all are waiting for the airship to depart. I think you all show your tickets, and you all walk on to the airship. This airship is pretty swanky. Um, it's you can tell that it's mainly used by people who basically have money. It's not used by peasants. Um, so there's food available for you to eat. There is alcohol for you to drink, and the airship takes off. And we see the airship kind of depart off of the back of Amos, and I think it starts by going up, and you get one last like bird's eye view of Amos as it starts to as your paths start to diverge, and you get to see this crazy city on top of this gargantuan dragon, and
I flip off the tennis court as we pass by. I imagine there's some kind of game going. Just fuck
Yeah.
you. I hope you lose.
Yeah, we zoom in and we see one of the Amos players like trip and just whiff on one of their hits. Yeah, and so you guys, you all take this airship back to Antara. It's a super smooth sailing trip. Nothing dangerous or crazy happens, unlike your trip to Amos, where you were attacked by a bunch of harpies. Um, and after several hours of chilling on the airship, you eventually land in Antara, and you disembark, and you guys are now back in your quote-unquote hometown of Antara.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to ask everybody else something while we're still on the ship. Do we have? Is this like an airplane, or is it more like a train where we have like a private little booth to sit in?
Let let's see. Since this is kind of like a day trip, I don't know. The way that I was thinking, of the way like the airship looked, right? The airship kind of looks basically like a sailboat, but the sails are kind of like they look more like fish fins. Um, I don't know. I bet there's a private room that you all can go in, and have a private discussion.
Okay, because if we have a moment to ourselves, I want to pose something to everyone and just say, so this is the second time since we all started working together that we encountered some sort of wizard or mage who conjured spirits of undead, zombies, thin skeletons, and a shadow. And remind me, Devon, when we were fighting Molly and she summoned that like vampire type creature,
She summoned Richmere the Devourer.
Rishmir the Devourer?
Yeah,
Okay. He said like, did he say like we hadn't seen the last of him when he disappeared?
he did. He did say that.
Which is the same thing that the Shadow of Aster said, right?
This is true.
Are they, maybe I'm just pulling at strings there. If you find out enough conspiracies in your time, and I've seen things that people conspire for things. Everything eventually starts to look a little bit too convenient there. It gets hard sometimes to tell if something is truly a conspiracy or if we're just living in a horrible, unescapable pool of chaos from which there's no escape. So tell me, in your honest opinion, do you think it's a coincidence?
Now that you're
Probably.
now that you're laying it all out, it does not sound like a coincidence, actually.
I think Folly is looking a little bit uncomfortable and is like remembering the conversation from the previous night. Just because something happened twice doesn't mean it's a pattern. I mean, if it was, it's what do they say? Once is a coincidence. Two times is, I don't know. It's Betty, I think you're trying to draw connections where there aren't any. It's was the guy that Molly summoned anything like the shadow we just fought? No, it wasn't.
Okay. Only asking questions. I'm gonna go have a drink, and then I disappear to go get a drink somewhere.
Danny is gonna follow Betty.
Okay.
You get a drink, and then Danny hops up on to the stool next to you, and orders a drink real quick, takes it, drinks it in quiet for a few minutes, and then is like, the chances of seeing something undead once in your lifetime are already close to 0. Seeing it twice is pretty damn strange. I would know. And they shake a maggot out of their fur and sip their beer and then say, I think you might be onto something. And I think we should do something about it.
Well, Sláinte, and I clink our glasses together. Yeah. I mean, I'll toast to that. 3 is the fucking magic number, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Did anyone else have anything they wanted to say with anyone else while you guys have this kind of moment while you all were traveling?
I don't think Folly says anything to anyone else. I think Folly just kind of wanders off and is gonna quietly study the spell book that they got from Zuruli in a private area. But yeah, kind of avoids the rest of the group for the rest of the flight back.
Harvey just kind of sits in his spot with his helm drawn, like his helm down, and just acts kind of withdrawn for the remainder of the flight.
Oh. Cool. So you all have this conversation and kind of go your separate ways and are alone with your thoughts. And after another couple hours, you all land in Antara, and you are given the go-ahead to disembark. And it is, let's see, I'm going to say you guys left like kind of in the mid-morning, and so now it's kind of like early-ish afternoon, middle afternoon at this point. Where do you guys want to go first? It sounds like there's a couple of places you could go, or that I'm thinking of, but if there's somewhere else, let me know.
Well, much as I'd love to go hunt down Molly before the trail goes cold there, I think we have to go get a mushroom tea so we can see someone about reimbursing me for all these business expenses I have accrued.
So that was why you gave Annabelle extra money.
Oh no, that wasn't part of my that was not tax deductible.
You didn't hold on to that receipt.
No, I have not marked it. I have marked every coin I've spent on a bribe. That was not a bribe. That was a sign of good faith.
I love to have my employers reimburse me for bribes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be paying bribes out of pocket.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as I should be given a per diem in terms of bribes. And I had to pay for my own per diem out of pocket. And I think we're going to have to renegotiate, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to there.
Yeah, Folly looks a little stressed when Betty mentions the per diem. Says, I'll try asking about it. Okay.
Okay. So it sounds like you all want to go meet up with the mysterious M to kind of like report back to him and get your reward, right?
It is time.
It is time. Okay. So you all walk towards the south end of Antara. How familiar are you guys with Antara? I know, Folly, you've probably grown up here. I forget how long you all have been or are familiar with Antara.
I'm not super familiar.
Okay.
Because I fucked off and like worked on a ship somewhere for a while.
Yeah.
Before coming back here. Yeah.
How old is Folly?
I don't know if I had a specific number. I think my original pitch for Folly was like they're going through like a quarter life crisis. So probably, I don't know, mid to late 20s maybe.
Because I was gonna say, I feel like Folly and I have both been here like basically all of our lives, but like I'm older enough that like I know all the weird old spots and Folly knows all of the like new hip spots. So like they probably mention stuff that like everybody knows about that I have like no idea it's there. But then I know about like a weird barber shop that's been open for like a quarter of a century.
Okay, perfect. That's excellent. Then I feel like, Betty, you kind of have like a better idea of where this mortuary is on the south side of the city. This mortuary has been like around for longer than you were born, probably. And so it's just kind of like just one of those buildings that like you don't always like you just always see, but don't like, since it's a mortuary, you don't really like always take notice of it.
Yeah.
but I think you have like a general idea of where it is, and you're able to lead you and your companions to the mortuary. And after a few minutes of walking through the city, walking through all the hustle and bustle of people walking around doing their own thing, you eventually make it to a mortuary. It's a relatively nondescript building. It just has the words on like one of those hanging signs. It just has the word South Mortuary on it, and you all walk inside, and it is quiet. It is empty. It is a little dusty. There's like, when you walk in, it's kind of like an open reception area, right? Like, you're not going to walk in and see someone addressing a body, right? And so there's a counter, and you see that there's a door leading back further into the mortuary, and you hear some noise, as if someone's doing some work in the back. And eventually, someone walks out, and it is a dwarf who has the features of like a burrowing owl, and they kind of walk up to the counter, and they kind of look you over, and their gaze finally lands on Folly, and you can tell that he's smiling with his eyes. But before you get started, sorry, he introduces himself, and he's like, "I can finally give up my mysterious act." And he goes, "My name is Morgan. It's a pleasure to finally meet you and your companions, Folly." You all sit down in Morgan's office. He smiles at you gently and says, "I'm glad you all made it back safely. Can you please tell me how everything went up on Blues?"
And then Betty looks at Folly and says, "Well, you're the one. This is your contact there. Why don't you take the lead there on this one?"
Yeah, Folly doesn't look especially happy to be asked, but steps forward and starts off. Well, we arrived on Amos safely. We were able to catch Zuri when he came to town, and is going to give this like very little overly long-winded like blow by blow account of like them following Zuri like throughout Amos over the course of the day, trying to like prolong the conversation. And then says, and then we followed him into the temple, and unfortunately he noticed us, and there was a fight, and unfortunately fortunately we don't have to worry about him anymore. Let's and then it's gonna immediately, and it's like, well, before he died, we found out what he was doing there, and is going to tell Morgan about what he was doing there. He was trying to collect blood from Amos in order to perform a ritual to free his god from a curse. And we don't know what god it was, but he had a shadow creature working for him who identified himself as the shadow of Aster. And Folly is going to show Morgan the knife and the vial that they took from Zuri Lee's belongings.
Morgan's going to take the knife and the vial from Folly, and Morgan looks very contemplative, and he goes, "Oh dear. I was expecting bad news, but I wasn't prepared for this."
I'm very, very sorry. We really tried to not be noticed, but he's not going to tell anyone now. It's fine.
It's
Why were you expecting bad news?
well, okay. It's a very good question, Betty. Right?
Yeah.
There's there's a lot. There's a lot, and I think it's time that I feel like it's time to kind of lay out the cards that I know about. You guys have proven yourselves, um, not worthy. What's the word I'm looking for? You've proven yourselves competent and willing to aid in my cause, and I think you will be even more willing to do so as I elaborate. I sent you, Folly, up there to watch Zerui lead because, how do I put this? Ash told me that something bad was going on. Not that something bad was going on. Ash told me that Aster is up to something. And we didn't know what he was up to. Aster has been using mortal pawns more recently and more frequently than he ever has in the centuries past. We think that he's up to something nefarious, and what you found out is only more proof of that hunch. Ash wants to prevent whatever Aster is trying to do, and it sounds like Aster is trying to break the chains of his curse, and we must stop this from happening.
Devon, question: as someone who grew up with family that were followers of Aster's, is this curse that like would be common knowledge among just mortal people, or is this the first time Folly's hearing about it?
It is the first time, like other than hearing it from Zuri Lee. This is the first time that you've heard about Aster being cursed.
Okay.
Devon?
Yeah.
What was the name of the vampiric figure that you mentioned earlier?
Richmere.
Speaking of mortal pawns, the name Molly doesn't mean anything to you, does it? Or perhaps Richmere?
He kind of winces when you say Richmere. Morgan says, we'll start with Richmere. He's more straightforward, if you want to call it that. He was a murderer maybe a decade ago who went around killing folk around the city. He was hanged when he was finally caught, but it sounds like someone brought him back. And then Molly, I heard about when you brought her back from your quest with the Charters Guild, and I dug into her past a little bit, and it looks like she worked for or actually works for the League in some capacity, and as you know, the League highly regards Aster, and so it's unsurprising to hear that Molly was doing something on behalf of Aster.
How much do we know? Out of character? How much do we know about? Like, I know what I read in the letters.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How much do we know about? Do we know anything about Morgan, other than the fact that he's been in contact with Folly?
No, Morgan has been pretty mysterious up until this point. Uh, he's only ever reached out to Folly, through the letters, um, and that's basically the only amount of contact that you've had with him before.
And Folly, you and me have been going back and forth on like just little bits here and there in like the last couple episodes on like just me asking some kind of like just like prying questions, but questions that are annoying because they're things that would be like, common knowledge about you, right? That I just keep forgetting because I'm old. But like, what I guess, like, what is your relationship with like the League right now?
Right. So Folly's like whole family is pretty, it's kind of like historically they've been like members of the League. Folly's kind of come from a family of medical professionals, and like they're the first person in their family who kind of hasn't really followed that route for a variety of reasons. And so, their parents are in the League, and their siblings are. They may not be especially important or like high status within the League, but they are like it's kind of like they're just like members of a guild or something. But I think the last like few months just kind of, fucking around with this group of people. I think Folly hasn't been maybe super up to date on what is going on within the League, like what might be happening. If there's anything going on within the League at this like higher level, Folly probably wouldn't know anything about it.
Okay, cool. Because I was under the impression this whole time that this like weird mysterious message was like perhaps in some way from someone within the League. So when Morgan says like, oh yeah, the League, they all are like very attached to like Aster. I'm gonna say, and you of course are not with the League.
No, I am not with the League. I have interactions with the League on a frequent basis, as I am, I work in this mortuary, and they are, medical professionals. Occasionally, there's going to be dead bodies that they either are interested in using for scientific purposes, or, people that they failed to save with their medical knowledge.
Devon, can I cast it? Can I roll a discern realities?
Yep. Yes, please. What are
Yes,
you trying to
ma'am.
do? Like, how are you going about discerning this reality?
Yeah. I think Folly, maybe like Betty, is maybe a little bit suspicious of what exactly Morgan's motivations are and how much information he's telling us. Discern reality says when you closely study a situation or person. So I'm trying to figure out if there is maybe something that Morgan is leaving out, if it seems like he might be lying, or if there's some parts of his story that like don't add up, essentially.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Can I aid?
Yeah, how are you aiding?
I just want to have Bleu step forward a little bit and hope that like while Morgan is a little bit off kilter with this giant beast in here, that he perhaps is like a little like what if he is wearing a mask, that it kind of disappears in some of whatever fear I can conjure.
Okay, cool. I like that a lot. So go ahead and roll your aider for your move.
I got a 5. I got to get rid of these fucking dice.
Okay. We will come back to your failed results in a little bit,
Okay.
Betty. Folly, go ahead and roll without the bonus from aider.
Okay. That is a 7. That's a partial success.
Excellent. You may ask one of the items from the list.
Okay. I guess what here is not what it appears to be.
Morgan isn't telling you everything that he knows yet. He said that he was going to try and like kind of like lay out the cards that he knows about, but you can tell that there's still more to his knowledge that he has shared thus far. But I think on the flip side of that, he isn't necessarily trying to deceive you. What he has told you so far has been truthful, even if he's going about it in kind of like a rude way.
Okay, so he's giving us good information, but he's not just like he's not telling us quite the full picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Keeping his cards close to his chest.
makes sense.
Devon,
Yes.
while they are having the conversation, can Danny start like surreptitiously searching the room?
Sure. What are you trying to do by doing that?
I'm trying to find anything that this person is hiding.
Okay. Sure.
And I feel like Danny probably has pretty good instincts for like, you know, what's something that somebody doesn't want you to see and where would that be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's a move.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's discern realities or more of a defy danger. I feel like I want to make you roll a defy danger more because like you're trying to snoop while right in front of this person.
Yeah.
And, like this guy isn't gonna like stab you if you like snoop through something, or like he probably seemingly won't stab you if you go through his stuff, but like you might like damage your relationship with this person type thing.
Right.
I feel like I don't know what attribute do you think this would be? Do you think this would be dexterity, or do you think you're using your intelligence?
Neither of those are very good. Can I guess dexterity. Let me say
Okay.
dexterity.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, yeah, I feel like you're kind of in like quick surreptitious motions, rifling through his things, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go ahead and make that defy danger roll, and then I'll let you know if you find anything, or like what you find.
Okay. 8.
8. Excellent. So that's a partial success. So what do you find? I think you find like a journal of his. Yeah, and I think he is kind of like distracted, a little bit talking with Folly and Betty, and I think what you find out. I think what happens is you don't have a lot of time to rifle through the journal before he's like, "Oh, please excuse me," and he kind of like snatches it back from your hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what you notice when you read through stuff is that there's a lot of mention of this group called the Severed.
Okay.
That you kind of notice. And he mentions it frequently in his journal.
Does it like, would I know like in what context he mentions it? Or is it like just kind of mentioned without context?
Ooh. I think I don't think you're able to get the context from your quick perusal of the journal.
Okay.
But you now know that the Morgan is worried about a group called the Seven.
Okay. Danny's gonna like write a little note using some of Morgan's paper and supplies, and then just like slide over to Folly, and it says like, "Have you heard of the Seven?"
Sorry, was that the 7 or the severed?
Oh, sorry, the Severed.
Oh, the Severed.
Sorry,
I also heard the 7.
my
Okay.
bad. I will.
Good.
That was my bad.
I think I clarified. Folly is not going to ask this immediately, but kind of pockets the note and turns to Morgan again. what exactly is this curse that Aster is under? I grew up worshiping Aster. I went to, I mean, I out of character, I don't think there's like Sunday school in this universe, but I went to in universe version of Sunday school.
Right.
I've never heard anything about a curse on Aster. What is this?
This. Morgan like nods his head and is like, right. I forget that this isn't common knowledge. I don't talk to a lot of folks, and I forget that this fact has been hidden away. And Morgan says, Aster was cursed millennia ago because he tried to usurp control over the council. He became more powerful than all other gods of death on the council, and the council worked together to seal away his power. And they cursed him to live the entire life of a person every day. And by doing so, his power can never be fully realized. And I don't think I don't think anyone ever likes being cursed. And I think he's finally working and found a way to break this curse.
Don't love that.
That's a pretty cool curse, though.
Yeah.
So you're saying that Ash is trying to stop this. Is this Ash is the only god trying to stop him? What is the rest of the council doing?
That is an excellent question, and one I don't know if I can give you a satisfying answer to. I know for sure that Ash is the one who is most concerned with Aster's actions. But Aster is hiding them well. And the other gods on the council, they have grown. I don't know if I can think of a good word, but they have. Ash says they have forgotten the power that Aster has, and without either a reminder or more proof of Aster's actions, the other council members don't seem all that interested in aiding Ash and trying to maintain the balance of the council.
If they could curse a god, why not simply kill a god?
Yeah.
It is a good question. From my understanding, they could have killed Aster, but the balance.
Well, why didn't they?
The balance of death would have been skewed. There would have been a void for who knows how long until someone else rose up to take the aspect that Aster represents.
Why couldn't one of them just, kill him and then take on the aspect themselves? Were they cowards?
I think he was too powerful.
Folly like elbows Harvey when he says this.
I'm just saying, man, if the opportunity to kill a god presented itself to me, I think I'd go for it.
So Morgan, Aster is working through people, meaning he speaks to them or he possesses them.
I think he speaks with them. I don't know if he's strong enough to possess anyone.
And so we're to presume that there's some sort of cult. Not a cult, not the forward-facing worshippers of Aster, but some kind of cult that recognizes his true intentions. Is that correct?
Morgan gets a little squeamish, and he kind of like readjusts himself in his chair, and he goes, "That may be the case. I don't know. That is what I fear."
So you sent us to look for information, and it sounds like we came back with some information that would be useful to you. The vial, the knife. We gave you the information on Richmere. We gave you the information on the Shadow of Aster. So I think it sounds like we did a job for you.
I do. Morgan chuckles, and he goes, "I do believe you're correct, Miss Barnacles, and because of that, I do have a reward for all of you." And he reaches into a drawer in his desk, and he pulls out a pouch. He kind of plunks it onto the desk, and he says, "There's 100 gold pieces for all of you to split how you see fit."
It's a lot of cheese.
Um,
I think Danny's gonna like pick up the bag and like slowly count out 21 pieces of gold and then like toss them across Morgan's desk and say 25 pieces of gold for an honest goddamn answer.
Whoa!
Oh,
Whoa!
I love it.
Morgan, I think Morgan stares at you in shock. His little beak like hangs open, and his like his big old owl eyes get even bigger. He was not expecting that at all. And I think at first, how about you give me a parlay move?
Okay. Parlay.
Can I assist on this?
Yeah. How are you assisting?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to actually like roll for a spell here, but I think narratively what happens, Folly is going to, I think, show some symbol of ash. I think. I think what happens is a Folly kind of is holding onto this mushroom that Ash gave them and is holding it in their hand. And when Danny tosses the coins across the table, they're going to hold this mushroom out, and if anyone looks at it, you're going to see that it's starting to kind of sprout more like fungal pores, almost like it's like growing before your eyes. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, sick. That is a 10.
Ooh, solid. So you give +1 to Danny on their next roll, and you don't have to deal with any consequences if Danny rolls bad.
Okay. 11.
Oh, hot damn. Okay. Ah, that's so good. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like the shock of Danny's bluntness, and with addition to kind of like Folly's showcase of their like commitment or connection to Ash, Morgan kind of like sits back in his chair and he sighs and he pushes the coins back to Danny and he goes, all right. I see that Ash trusts you, Folly, and by extension your companions, and you deserve to know everything that I know. And he says, and then he looks to Betty and he goes, "You're right. I don't have. The reason I was reluctant to tell you was I don't have full proof on this. It is part of my investigation, but I believe there is a splinter faction in the League known as the Severed. And I think that they are planning on making a religious coup against the League in an effort to make Aster the singular god of death."
All these religious people always trying to shove their religions down my throat.
It's terrible.
Now, Morgan, it sounds from what you're saying there that if we are to continue to remain on your employ, that eventually we would be, I'm assuming, doing works of theological espionage, perhaps working to try to undermine this splinter faction. Gotta grease a lot of wheels to do something like that there. Hey, Morgan? In fact, I find coin tends to grease a lot of wheels just fine. In fact, I greased some palms when we were hauling Zeruli to the tune of 7 coin. I'll appreciate it if you'll add that to billable.
Morgan Morgan looks at you and he says, "How about, you're not wrong. I would like to keep you, I don't know if employed is the proper word, but I would like your continued assistance, and I will continue to fund your continued assistance." He shakes his head. He's like, "All right, we didn't agree to this prior to the contract that you accepted, so to speak. But I will reimburse you your 7 coin." And he reaches into the drawer again, and he kind of like counts out 7 coin, and he places them on the desk.
I take that coin and I say, agree to the contract is an interesting way of phrasing that you sent us a mysteriously and vaguely worded letter, and we did it for you. So I appreciate you accommodating us. Now, going forward, I know that you said that you would not use the word employee. So think of us perhaps as independent contractors. And I think that you're right. I think that it wasn't the contract we agreed to, as mentioned before. We did not have clear rules for a contract set out there. So why don't we just go ahead and figure what those are, Morgan?
That's okay. Morgan chuckles a little bit. He's entertained by this line of conversation. He goes, "That's fair enough. All further contracts will provide more explicit detail as to the job requirements." He kind of like pauses for a second and he says, "To make up twofold, to make up for the vagueness of the previous contract and to aid you in your upcoming contracts with me, I have, let's call it a bonus for each of you, if you all plan on continuing to assist me."
Well, I guess we do, right?
I just got one more question for you, Morgan. That all sounds peachy keen. And I put like an arm around his shoulder and I put my free hand on my stiletto and just sort of like rub the pommel with like my thumb. Things had to get a little wet you'll pardon my euphemism, on the last job we did. Certain pieces had to be taken off the board. What's your policy on something like that? For, against, neutral? Sometimes you have to remove an obstacle to get through a road. Falls in the way, gotta clear it. How do you feel about something like that, Morgan? You gonna dock us pay if we take a log off the road there?
It will be situational, Betty. I will make sure to make it explicit within the job requirement whether or not it is okay to get things a little wet, as you say. Only I will make sure to specify anyone who must not perish at your hands. And
Whoa.
Whoa!
We're not talking about anything like that.
killing
It's just-
anybody. We don't kill. Look at us we don't kill people.
If you're doing construction, sometimes they have what's called a load-bearing pillar there.
Yeah.
You can't take that out.
Okay.
Take that out.
Okay.
You could indicate this pillar load bearing. You could put a little mark. You'd be like load bearing. Don't move that pillar. Nobody's saying anything about.
You're right. That was.
I don't know what you call it. What is that? Killing.
He backtracks. He's like, okay. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. He says, if there is a particular obstacle that I would prefer you to not remove, I will specify that. And I will also specify if there's an obstacle, which obstacles are okay with removing. Does that work?
I squeeze his shoulder. I say, well, that sounds just great to me, Morgan.
I'm gonna raise my hand.
Yeah, Morgan looks over at you.
This bonus you're talking about, do we get any say in what it is, or do you just get to decide?
I have already made my decision. Are you guys, before I, hand those out, just want to confirm you guys are interested in continuing to work with me. Is that correct?
As long as it's understood the terms of our agreements and the fact that you have stated under certain terms that you would prefer for this not to be an employee-employer situation, and that we are, in fact, independent contractors, meaning that you could drop us in between contracts and that we could choose not to take the next contract. I think that we will continue to take contracts until one should come such a way that we might decide to end our partnership, if that is all good with you. Does that sound good to everybody? Everybody there. Harvey, that sound good to you? You're being very quiet. How do you feel?
That sounds fine.
Danny, sound good to you?
I'll have to see the bonus.
Conditional.
Folly, that sound good to you?
I think Folly has lost the plot a little bit, but just like nods. Yeah.
Well, then I guess the only thing is you got to show us the bonus there, Morgan. I guess it's time for the bonus. So, seeing as there's only one slight holdout, I believe we should start with their bonus. Morgan reaches back down into a different drawer, and he kind of rustles around a little bit, and he pulls out an oddly colored wax candle, and he places it in front of you, Danny. And he says, "This is known as an earworm wax candle. When you light this candle and drip the wax into the ear of someone, you may then ask them 3 questions of any kind, and they will be forced to tell you the whole truth despite themselves. Is this an acceptable bonus?
I think that'll be acceptable. I suppose. And then Danny's gonna like grab it and like put it in their bag.
That's excellent. Morgan like nods and kind of chuckles. He's like he had like no doubt that you'd be interested in this bonus. And then he's going to turn to Harvey.
Ooh.
And he's going to be like, I think you'll find this useful. And he's going to reach down into that same drawer and place a ring on the table. And
ring.
A ring. And the ring is kind of a simple looking ring, except it has it like a signet on it, and on the signet are 2 like rabbits, kind of like doing like chasing each other's tail type thing. And he says this is known as the ring of the hare. He says 2 times a day you can make an inhuman or a superhuman feat of jumping, essentially. And here, I'm gonna just plop it in the chat real quick. Basically, you'll roll a defy danger plus strength, and on a success, like a 7+, you either can jump like 10 feet straight into the air, like vertically, or you can jump 30 feet horizontally.
Oh shit! Cool. Nice.
And then he's going to turn to Folly, and he's going to be like, Folly, since I'm asking you to do so many investigations, I think these will prove more useful to you than they are for me right now. And he's going to reach into his breast pocket and put a pair of glasses in wooden frames on the desk. And he's going to say, these are known as inspectacles. They allow you to see things and perceive things with your sight a little bit better. And then, like, out of character, anytime you use discern realities sight-based and you get a 10+, you can ask any 3 questions full stop. Not on the list, any 3 questions you want.
Ooh.
As long as they're sight-based. Like, as long as you could have discerned it through sight, you can ask any 3 questions on a 10+.
So that means if there's something we're sussed out about, you could point at it and be like, "Hey, what the fuck is that?"
Well, if I get a 10+, but yes.
Yeah. Hey, what's wrong with that chest? I know you did something, you monster.
There's something going on there.
Yeah. And then, last but not least, Morgan turns to Betty, and he goes, don't be deceived by its mundane appearance. I think you'll find this incredibly useful. And he reaches into the drawer, plops out a coil of rope onto the desk, and he says, he says, this is known as the Trixie rope. It does tricks. Why don't you tell it to come here?
I just give it one of these.
I think it has to be verbal.
Okay. Make a belt.
The rope starts to move on its own, coils around your waist, and makes of itself a belt around your waist.
That's freaking dope.
It can listen to simple commands, and it will do it as if it was an obedient snake.
And I say, well, these are fine tokens of our organ. Do you have any need us to be doing? Because if not, I was thinking we would look for some answers in the form of a recently escaped Molly.
Oh dear, I had not heard of that news. Yes, I do have. I've been working on your next job. If you had been willing to accept it, why don't you go out and I think it's more pertinent that you go out and find out what happened to Molly. If you, however, that is resolved, if you can come back here within the next day or two, I'll have the details of your job now that I have to be a little bit more explicit with our contracts with each other. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Morgan stands up. He goes, "Thank you all for meeting with me today. I appreciate your help on that last, we'll call it a task that I asked of you." And he's like, as he's talking, he's like leading you out of the mortuary, and he kind of like shows you out of the door. He's like, "I look forward to seeing you and hearing what the hell happened to Molly."
Before we leave, I'm going to make sure that I slide all of that money that Danny put down for an honest goddamn answer. They're being hyperbolic, of course. Right, put it back into the pouch that we have.
Perfect. Yes. There's no resistance. He lets you do that, no problem.
Quick bookkeeping. You guys want to just split it 4 ways?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down.
Yeah.
25 gold for each of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Betty counts this coin with the grace of a Vegas dealer. Just quickly hands everybody like neatly piled stacks of 25 coin each. And then says, "Well, dear, that went better than expected."
You got money.
And it seems like we're getting another job out of it.
I love consistency.
Yes, consistency is key, I've heard. Should we mosey our way on over to figuring out what's going on with our dear friend Molly? Or is anyone else's coin burning a hole in their pocket?
Well, I was wondering, friends, we have just procured quite a bit of gold. Maybe it would be a good idea to pool it and get something big that might help us as a group. I'm not sure what though.
So for big stuff, we can buy let's see, there's weapons and armor, there's dungeon gear, and there's poisons. We got services, meals, and transport. We got some land, but I don't think we have enough to buy any kind of nice land. Bribes, gifts. And then everything else is just like magic weapons in the book that you'd have to like find.
Oh,
Or if we want to, depending on how tight we want to like save our money, it's only 150 to get a wagon. So
ooh.
get a wagon after the next job. Also, if it seems like we might reach a point where we might be doing something nautical, a riverboat is the same price. So since we have a
Oh.
donkey, we could eventually get to a point where we could like get a wagon for a donkey.
Yeah, maybe we should hang on to our money for now, if y'all are down.
Yeah, at least like wait to see what kind of the next like little like mini arc is going to be.
Yeah.
If we save up really well and we get 2,500 gold, we can buy a house.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep.
We can all be roommates.
Damn, you guys
Only
could,
20 jobs.
you
Harvey
guys-
is homeless.
Oh, Harvey's still homeless?
He's homeless light.
Oh shit, that's right. No
He-
wonder your
yeah,
mom
he
can't
just-
get in contact with you.
Yeah, I just live out of inns and
Ugh.
camp places.
You know, that house is actually super reasonable. I mean, imagine if you could just do 20 jobs that each take like a couple weeks and then buy a house with that money.
Damn.
Okay.
You guys want to hear something nuts?
Yeah.
You can get in this game. It says that the going rate for an assassination is 120 coins.
Yeah.
It's only 5 coins for quote a run-of-the-mill killing.
Wait, only 5 coin for a run-of-the-mill killing?
Yeah, if you want to just pay someone to kill someone, it's only 5 coins. But if you want to pay someone to assassinate someone, it's 120 coins.
I mean, that 5 coin, it's gonna get you some asshole some drunk asshole at a tavern trying to do like a shanking. I think
Right.
that.
I mean, Alyssa, you're like halfway to being a lawyer. What is the difference between murdering someone and assassinating someone? Legally speaking.
Oh, well, there's so
I'm
many
back
levels
in.
of murder.
Well, I think they would be equally bad, especially for the person who hires them, because either way you're gonna get charged with conspiracy. So
Well, assassination's like political, so it's like maybe it's someone who might be like better protected or like they're important.
oh, that's a good point. And if it is political, the certain countries could get you for treason.
Yeah.
So is
Depending
a
on who it is.
hitman not an assassin? Is a hitman an assassin?
I would
Like,
say
if
so.
You hire someone's wife to kill their ex-husband. Are you assassinating their ex-husband, or are you just murdering their ex-husband?
I don't think.
As far as the law goes, there's only 4 types of killing, and assassination and a run-of-the-mill killing would be the same thing. And hiring someone to kill is conspiracy, no matter what kind of killing it is. But Eliot has a point that if it's political, there could be like some kind of treason situation involved, or like it's a different federal crime, which might have a different sentence. And so, yeah.
I just want to know, because going forward, whenever we have to get rid of someone, I'm going to be letting him know. Now, this was not a run-of-the-mill killing. This was an assassination. And so I think that you'll find our rate has just increased by about 120 coin.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yes. Well, I think in this.
Minimum,
I think this,
base.
Yeah. I don't think assassinations need to be political. I think any type of hired killing can be considered an assassination.
Okay.
So you all are headed towards the city garrison, right?
Yeah.
While you are walking towards the garrison, someone bumps into Harvey. And they go, "Oh shit! Harvey? Is that you? Dude."
How would he recognize me? I'm in full plate.
Okay.
Do I have... Wait. I probably have kind of unique plate. It would probably be recognizable as Ravunthian blacksmithing.
Okay. Then he's not gonna
So,
go.
okay, yeah.
This person an elf?
This person is an elf, yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I mean, we're
I
gonna
have
do
my
something.
hand on my stiletto.
Okay.
Oh, actually, yeah, he's an elf.
Yeah.
He knows my scent.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did not know that about elves. I have to write that down. Where's my pad?
Yeah, we're in tune to each other's scents.
Oh my god. Okay, that's crazy. That's super cool. I fucking love that.
What do elves smell like?
Elves.
It varies wildly from elf to elf. It
Interesting.
works a lot like the love potion from Harry Potter.
Mm.
Like your scent is just kind of the air of your personality. So I feel like Harvey's scent is like an undertone of deep fried foods, stale hops, and then probably like the sweet scent of a little bit of spilled blood.
Mm.
Do
So like a
elves-
dive bar that's just had a bar fight in it.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That is very Harvey.
Oh, actually, with a sprinkling of freshly clipped grass to
Oh.
represent his love of tennis.
Oh, of course, perfect.
Classic.
So now we know that his favorite kind of court is a grass court, and that he does not prefer clay courts.
Oh, I think they mostly use grass courts.
Obviously, everybody knows that grass goes extremely well on the back of a dragon.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Now that we have that detail, which is great, you recognize this person vaguely. You
Vaguely.
this is not someone that you are close with, meaning that like the scent of them is not unfamiliar. Like you've obviously met like a new elf, right? And you're like, oh, this is what this person smells like. You've smelled this person, but it's been like years.
Yeah.
It's been years, and so this person goes, dude, it's been forever. Don't you remember me? It's your buddy from school, Bartleby.
No. Bart.
Come on.
Bartleby.
He's like, come on. You don't remember me? We used to like, go smoke some Maroon-themed cheese out behind the
Buddy,
school.
if you remember me, you should know the odds of me remembering you are low.
Come on, man. It sounds like you haven't changed though. That you know what that's a fair point. Why don't we catch up, man? I'd love to see how you've been.
How long are you in town for? Because I'm extremely busy.
I'm here for the next week. But
Sweet.
what about a quick? We can't just grab a quick drink right now, man.
I kind of have a fugitive to splatter into the dirt. And the longer I let her run, the further away she gets. Now, I don't mean to be rude, but we really do have to go kill this bitch. This is
like,
probably shocking to him.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you with a shocked face. He's like, "What the fuck did I just hear?"
Oh, I'm gonna pause before just kind of walking away. You were around before the battle royale, weren't you?
Yeah. I was around before then.
That would explain your shock. Where are you staying?
I'm staying. I'm staying at this tavern, right down here. You sure you can't just grab a drink with me?
My good sir, I think that you'll find that he just told you that he's busy with a job.
He looks over. Bartleby looks over at Betty, and he goes, "Well, I guess this can't be helped." And
I'm gonna put one coin into his hand and say first round will be on me. As a show of good faith that I'm not just fully blowing him off and that I'm actually just busy.
for sure, he takes the coin from you, but his expression changes on his face, and he goes, I was hoping we could do this somewhere more privately. And he brings his fingers up to his mouth and he whistles. And two more people emerge from an alleyway. And let's see. There is another elf who pops out, kind of a slender dude in a cloak, and then the other person who emerges is a woman. Oh shoot, do we have? Yeah, she is a large human woman, with dark skin and a big ass maul across her back.
Oh, sick.
Just before you do anything,
Uh-huh.
the woman goes, Benji wanted me to say hi.
I'm gonna slip my stiletto in between Bartleby's rib cage.
Yeah, please. I was gonna yeah. Fuck Bartleby.
Excellent. Go roll me a hack and slash.
11.
11. Sounds like a very successful hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
That is 4 damage.
Okay. You get do you try and stab him? Like, how does this look? You don't kill him, and you only slightly injure him. How does it look like?
Yeah, so I think maybe it's just like a difference between like human and elven anatomy, right? Like the organs are in different places.
Yeah.
The rib cages are different sizes. But I think what happens is like, I think because I added Blue's attachment to that. So like Bleu is probably like, how tall are elves? Like 5 foot something?
Yeah, we're pretty short. I think we kind of cap out in the mid 5s.
Yeah, so Blue's basically like at face level with this guy now, and just like onto his arm and starts pulling his arm down, and then I just hit him in the back. And I think that because it's like it doesn't kill him right away. I think it's just sort of the kind of thing where it's like I was going for his lungs. It was a scuffle. I kind of just went through that, like, you know, there's like a weird pouch of air in your guts that keeps so your guts can shift around and you move.
Yeah.
I just kind of through it, like went through some like
you just puncture
missile
him.
issue.
Yeah, you just puncture him. It doesn't do much damage. Did not hit any vital organs. So Betty reacts first. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to try to take out his legs.
Are you gonna focus on Bartleby?
Oh, yeah. Harvey is not in a great headspace right now. And this guy who he vaguely remembers like has just revealed that he's working with his piece of shit brother. So he's killing the messenger.
Perfect. That's understandable. How are you attacking Bartleby?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna like grab my flail that's on my hip and whip it off downwards.
Okay.
So that it just
Cool.
Because I want to take out his legs and get him on the ground.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and do a hack and slash.
Actually, wait, do I have? I do. Goodbye, 1 inspiration.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't need to use it. So 11.
Solid. Fuck yeah. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Yes.
God
18.
damn. Shit, that's how much damage you're doing now?
Oh, actually, my good sir, this is a humanoid, right?
It is.
We haven't fought a humanoid in a while. So my poison tag gets to apply. So, if he survives this, he takes minus 1d4 to damage.
Fuck me. God damn. I mean, you kill him. Or no.
Oh, I killed him?
Do
Okay,
you, do you want to kill him?
Oh, I absolutely do. I know
Okay.
how I want to kill him. Can I describe this?
Please go right ahead.
So he turns to Bartleby. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And he whips off his flail, takes out his legs, and just lets the flail drop. So it's just lying on the ground. He grabs the back of Bartleby's head, drags it over the flail, pries open his mouth, and stomps it into his flail ball.
Yeah, excellent. Bartleby basically had no idea what happened. It happened so quickly. One moment he was being stabbed by Betty. The next moment he was eating the ball of a flail. God damn, that's vicious. Okay. The other two folk see that their faces scrunch into scowls, and they run at you. The other elf gets there a little bit quicker. They're a little bit quicker on their feet, and they are going to start attacking you. Yeah, I'm just gonna make a move. They come in while you're kind of like distracted, taking out Bartleby, and they come in and they draw their rapier, and they come in for a slash, and they're gonna do. God damn, it looks so pathetic compared to yours. They're gonna do 5 damage, three of which is piercing, but I don't think even that.
It goes right through the armor.
It does go right through the armor, right?
When you deal damage within piercing, you subtract in from the enemy's armor for that attack. So it is. Yeah, it sounds like it just ignores up to that much armor. So if your armor is higher than that, it does not.
It does not
pierce it.
It does not pierce it, right?
Yes, because the exact words are when you deal damage within piercing, you subtract in from the enemy's armor for that attack.
Oh,
so
no. So I think what it is since it's 3 piercing, your armor's actually really, since your armor's 5, right, Harvey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes it 2 armor. So it does 5 damage against 2 armor. So it's going to deal 3 points of
So it
damage.
turns out the same.
It turns out the same in this case, yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and take 3 points of damage.
Yep. 3 whole points.
Yeah, 3 whole points. I think he like kind of pokes you with his rapier, and he is a little disappointed that it did not do more damage to you. The woman is charging in, but she has not made it to you yet, Harvey.
Can I try doing something real quick?
Yep. What do you want to do?
I would like to try to cast a Hold Person on her.
Ooh, solid.
Which, let me pull that up. Okay, and that is a 10. So do it successfully. I don't like take any. I don't like lose a spell or anything. Choose a person you can see until you cast a spell or leave their presence. They cannot act except to speak. So this woman is essentially frozen in place.
Frozen in place. Damn. Okay. Yeah, the woman was charging at Harvey, stops suddenly with her maul kind of like in her arms, and you like see her like eyes like trying to like frantically move as she is held in place magically.
Ooh. Wait, so does it break if we hit her?
Yes. If you deal any damage, I believe it ends the spell.
Yes.
But it makes that first hit real easy to get.
Yep. Yeah, I think I would probably give you advantage on a hack and well, I might just have you deal damage against the person. I think just because like there's no way you couldn't hit them.
Yeah.
Unless someone was interfering.
I would
dogpile her.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to just immediately rush in on this bitch.
For you, Harvey, you can't You can't because this elf dude is on top of you right now.
Ugh,
So
bitch.
you'd have to take care of him or try to like get around him in order to attack the woman.
Yeah, can I just defy danger?
Yeah. How are you trying to get around this dude?
Brute force.
Excellent. You're just gonna try and body check him out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shield check him.
Shield check him. That's because I know you like using con, but I still feel like that's gonna be strength in this case.
Okay.
With strength.
10.
Damn, dude. Yeah. Um, you send this small little elf just like flying back, as you rush to go attack this woman who's frozen in place. Yeah, go ahead, Zach. You're just gonna go in and attack her.
I think both of us are.
Yeah, you okay? Harvey and Betty are.
Mm.
Okay. Do you want to make this a team attack where one of you is aiding or interfering, or are you just going to
That might be a good idea.
attack separately?
Oh, we could do it separately. I thought you had said that we could just roll damage on her while she was like.
I was gonna let
bad.
one person deal damage without rolling. Like I was gonna let one, because as soon as she takes damage, she's gonna be ready to defy anything made against her, and you'd have to roll for it.
Okay, then while she's here, and she's still bound, instead of hurting her, what I'm gonna do as Harvey starts rushing is I'm just gonna I'm gonna like pat my new rope belt and say like and just sort of whisper like, bound her arms to her side, and then the rope goes and like wraps around her in like a flash and like binds her arms stiff to her side.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, Harvey. You see Betty throw her rope out. It entangles this large woman who's still frozen in place. Describe how you're attacking and roll your damage.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna rush up on her, like in a frenzy. Like usually Harvey fights with, shield up, nice back and forth, very fluid movements, but he's got his flail short, just kind of dangling off as he rushes in. And he's gonna like start pulling it out as he gets close and just spin around and let the momentum like just carry the ball straight into her head.
Holy moly. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll your damage.
And I'm gonna burn my last inspiration.
Oh, solid.
15.
God damn. Okay. God damn, that's crazy. Okay, so she is not.
Oh.
Oh.
Plus a -1d4 to her damage if she survived.
Okay, perfect. I will make sure to note that. She does survive. She's gonna be not looking so hot though. You said you hit her in the face with your flail, right?
Yeah, I just sent it careening like right into her neck.
Oh, okay, yeah. You do that, and the spell that Folly had cast is kind of broken, and she kind of like falls down to her side and kind of falls down and kind of like rolls, and then like it kind of rolls back up onto her knee, and her face like just like on this neck and like the side of her face is just blood, and it's just like dripping down her shoulder. And she gets up and she like snarls at you, but then that dumbass elf comes up from behind you and attacks you again.
This little bitch.
And he's gonna. Oh, there we go. Thank goodness. He's gonna deal.
On that, because I was trying to watch. I was trying to watch Harvey's back. Can I make a defend roll to defend Harvey, and maybe it doesn't work?
I've already rolled the damage.
Okay, no
So
worries. Just
yeah,
wondering.
and because I feel like this is all happening really fast, so I feel like you looked, turned your attention towards the woman, threw out the rope. Harvey came in, and bashed this person, and then like a split second later, this elf dude is back on Harvey and is taking another stab at him. He's gonna do 8 points of damage with 3 of that piercing, so that's 2 against 8, which is so take 6 points of damage.
Ooh.
Wait, is the elf still alive? I thought that we killed Bartleby.
There's another elf.
Yeah, there's a Bartleby. I'm going to tell you their names. The elf's name is Quartz, and the woman's name is Sybil.
I think I just got confused because of the of the icons in the.
Yes, one of them is not reptilian.
I gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, so Harvey, this elf dude gets a better stab on you this time, and you take 6 points of damage total.
Cool. Yeah.
Can I take this guy to the ground and start stabbing him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I aid?
Yeah, so you're gonna like turn around and you guys are gonna kind of like double team, or you're gonna like assist Betty in her takedown of this elf.
Yeah, essentially. So his attention is on me, so I'm gonna spin around and give him my attention, so he stays locked on me, so that Betty can do what Betty needs to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that sounds awesome. Go ahead and roll your aid move.
7.
Okay, you get to take a +1, Betty, but Harvey, you will be involved with any repercussions that may happen.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, this is perfect. Betty, go ahead and roll a hack and slash. No, how are you attacking? If it's with range to use Folly.
It's a hack and slash.
Okay.
I got a 15.
Ooh.
Hot damn. Holy moly. I mean, go ahead and roll your damage.
5 damage. And 1 piercing.
Oh, and 1 piercing? Okay. The elf named Quartz, you said you were trying to stab him, right?
I was trying to take him to the ground.
Take him to the ground. Okay, so you tackle him.
Well, no, I was going to try to have, because I'm working with Bleu, so I was going to have Bleu try to, like, those, how, like, defense dogs will, like, grab an arm.
Yeah.
And, like, pull him down. So I was just going to have Bleu just, like, grab his, like, leg and just, like, snap his head back in, like, a really, like, violent and upsetting way and try to, like, have this guy just be like, oh, fuck, and, like, go flat on his back like Family Guy fall.
Oh my god.
And then I was gonna pile on and start stabbing at him.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Yeah. This dude is on his back, and you're just like you're on top of him. You kind of got him pinned down at this point, and he's still kicking. He's still struggling as he's being attacked by you. But now the woman is back up on her feet, and her attention is locked on Harvey, and I think she's going to take a swing at you, Harvey.
Is she not bound?
Oh, shit, she's bound. She's bound by the rope. Oh, shit. Okay.
Also, did she drop her hammer, her maul?
Her mauls, she had it like this, and so I was imagining like it was kind of like bound against her at this point. So she's kind of like in a weird, like her arms are kind of like trapped against her. I think she still has the maul in her hands.
Okay.
Well, would she have dropped it when she fell with your attack?
Yeah, because it was hold person, then she fell, then she got back.
Yeah, you're right.
It's on the ground.
It's on the ground. Let's see. What is she trying to do? Her arms are bound in a really weird way. Shoot, you have handicapped Sybil really well.
I'm just gonna, while she's bound, I'm just gonna communicate to Harvey, like, with a look that is very, like, short and intense, because we fought together several times now. like I am on top of this guy.
Hmm.
I have a stiletto in his gut.
Betty, I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah, I'll get
I
this
gotta.
roll.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you. That was okay. That's why I was asking about the hammer. So, since I can tell that Betty has this under control, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to jaunt to this woman and I'm going to pick her maul up from the ground.
Okay, she's gonna growl at you.
Yeah, I would like to break her legs. Actually, no, her arms.
Okay, go ahead and roll a hack and slash.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, a 9. Okay.
Okay, that's not bad. Go ahead and roll your damage, but she's gonna be able to do a little bit of damage back to you.
She's just like kicking and kneeing and shit.
Will she?
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, she gets in an attack against you. Basically, what happens is you run and you pick up her maul, and she sees you doing that, and she kind of like runs at you. And we're gonna see how this exchange of blow skills goes down. Not great. God damn, I suck at rolling, you guys. And she doesn't have piercing. Okay, yeah. So she's gonna come and she's gonna try and kick at you. While you pick up her maul. And it's actually like a pretty solid kick. I think she kicks because I think you like bend down to pick it up, and I think she gets like a good solid kick in your head. And like,
Yeah.
you're wearing your helm, right? So like, it's basically just the force of the impact kind of like knocks your head back and kind of gives you a little bit of whiplash. She deals you 7 points of damage, none of it piercing, so
Yeah.
a total of 2 damage. You know.
And then do I beat her? I did 15 damage.
Yeah. You
So
if
I
you
know
would
how
like to,
this.
if you would like to kill her, you may. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Actually, no. So how this is gonna go is she comes over, and she kicks my helm off as I'm like reaching down for her maul.
Yeah.
And I immediately am like, fuck the maul. I drop my flail, grab my helm, and just slam her in the face with it.
Oh dang. Yeah.
And then I think I just crawl on top of her after she hits the ground. I slam her face until she's toothless. I do not kill her.
Oh,
I do
okay.
not. I raise her arms up after she's like incapacitated and go back over her with her maul. And I'm just gonna bring it down on both hands.
Oh, god damn.
Before picking her up like by the hair. And whispering in her ear, "Tell my brother I'm coming." And I'm just gonna throw her off.
God damn. I don't know if you can throw her. She's pretty big.
Oh, I mean, like not like throw her, but like I had her head like in my hand, and I just kind of like get out of here.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, she's pretty fucked up, so she's just gonna lay on the floor, bleeding and unconscious, for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Betty, you have an elf who is struggling against you. I don't think they have an opportunity to attack you. So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna say the rope to my hand.
Okay. The rope
Get my
unwraps around Sybil and slithers over to you.
and I'm gonna say around his neck, please, to the elf.
The rope slithers around the elf's neck.
And then I'm going to give the other end to Bleu, and Bleu is just going to start slowly backing up with it, like a dog playing tug of war, while this guy's like scrambling. And then that gives me a minute. That just gives me like a second to breathe, while I like kick this guy's like weapons out of his hand or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take a second to look around and see if anybody saw this. Like, are we in an alley somewhere?
You guys, the spot, they basically chose a quiet street. No one was around. No one has seen this.
Okay.
Can I say also retroactively, since I'm not involved in the fight, like Danny would have taken the end of one of the streets, and if anyone came near, just like hiss at them or something.
Ooh,
Using their
okay,
yes.
rapier charm.
Yeah, like we look up, like where the fuck has Danny been this whole time? I see you hissing at like a group of tourists.
Take a shortcut, and Danny's just like, I will piss in your mouth. I will piss in your mouth.
Like shake your head and like maggots fly at the tourists.
Yeah.
Immediate, yeah. That's hilarious. That is perfect. Betty, you have Blue pulling on the rope, and it's choking this dude's life out.
I would say that if I try to like get some answers out of him in any kind of particular way, that Blue would be helping me with this. Yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
So while he's like while he's getting strangled, and getting pulled back, I guess my only question is like, I'm just gonna ask him how he knows Benji.
Let's see. Yeah, this dude. Okay, this dude is like struggling to breathe, and he's like trying to grasp him, and he's like, the dude just paid me. It was supposed to be a simple hit job.
A hit job. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to do from here. I guess I'm gonna walk over. I guess I'm gonna walk over to Blue and just like take the rope in my hand, and then just kind of like hold it so that it's like not actively choking him, but that like if he like starts to like reach for it, I'm just gonna like pull it real quick, and I'll be like, "It's supposed to be a hit job. Who paid you? Benji paid you?"
Yes, he says as he struggles to breathe.
So he's in the city there.
I don't know where he is. He paid us on Revuth.
He paid you on Revuth? You came all the way from Revuth over here and you knew he'd be here?
Benji said he'd be in Antara. Are you gonna let me go?
How'd you know where to find us? And I pull on it again.
We've been searching for like the past a few days around the city. We've just been walking around.
Then I'm just gonna like pull it up as high as I can go so that he kind of like sitting up, and I'm gonna go like, okay, I just got one last question for you there, bud. Tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why, kid.
Are you gonna let me go? I promise I'll tell you what I know if you let me go. I'm done.
I don't want to know what you know. I want to know why. I want to know why not.
I needed the money.
Oh, that's not the right answer. And then I'm just gonna end him.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, he's gonna kick and flail. As he slowly is incapable of drawing more breath.
I'm just gonna hold my mouth shut and just go shh in his ear.
Yep.
And be like, it's just a job, but you didn't have the right answer there. It's just a job. You didn't have the right answer.
His face turns blue and his eyes bulge, and he dies.
Okay.
And that is how we're gonna end the session for tonight.
Yeah.
As you guys are on your way to find out what the fuck happened to Molly, you guys take out some would-be assassins.
Yeah. I love it.
Holy moly. That was crazy. So let's do some end of session stuff. Oh my god. You guys are crazy. Okay. End of session. Let's see. Let's go over bonds and alignment real quick. Let's go in the order of my screen. Betty, what do you think any of your bonds? Do you think any of your bonds have been resolved?
No.
Okay. And then what is your alignment?
Lawful. Did I stick to or enforce a contract?
Yeah, I would say that a large part of this was about the contract. Okay, yeah, go
Yeah.
take an XP. Folly, do you think any of your bonds have been resolved?
Nope. Two of them are new from last session anyway, so
Excellent. Cool. And then what is your alignment?
neutral. Prove myself worthy of Ash's blessing. I don't really think I did anything for that this session, so I think I don't.
What could you reread that real quick for me?
Yeah, prove myself worthy of Ash's blessing.
I think you did.
I feel like because you did that prayer in the morning, and I feel like I almost like literally said that Ash was happy with you.
You did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Okay.
So go ahead and take a point for that. And you also had that cool scene with Morgan, whipping out that mushroom and like making them tell you everything. Danni, do you think any of your bonds have been resolved?
I think one of them has. I was thinking about it during the session. My bond with Betty was that Betty evades death in defiance of the natural order. But I think like after our conversation this morning, I realized that like Betty doesn't evade death in defiance of the natural order. Betty evades death by being paranoid all the time that death is following us, which is the way you should treat it. Because death is inevitable and it comes to us all.
It is indiscriminate. That's perfect. So if you want to go ahead and take a point of XP for that, and rewrite or reword your bond with Betty.
Yeah.
And then also, what is your alignment?
It's chaotic, and it's did I disregard social norms and make someone uncomfortable?
That's a yes. Yeah. Yep, that's a definite yes. And then Harvey, do you feel like any of your bonds have been resolved?
No.
And what's your alignment?
Neutral, defeat a worthy opponent.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
That's a yes.
They were unworthy.
They were unworthy. Well, I feel like
No,
almost
take it,
everything
though.
is unworthy in your eyes and Harvey's eyes. Or many things are, at least.
I mean, there was that shadow creature.
The shadow creature, yeah, that's a fair
Harvey
point.
has big Goku energy, I'm realizing. Except a little more wrathful.
Yeah, and a little bit more brutal at times.
That's what I mean.
Let's see. Did you all mark down any time you failed to roll? I feel like you guys were rolling really well this session.
Yep.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm this close to not using Foundry anymore for rolls because I haven't failed in like 3 sessions.
I mean, sometimes that happens though, you know? You also, I don't know, you guys roll really well. And
I have blue dice, and they roll really well. And I have white dice, and those ones roll like shit. And I thought that I would switch to the white ones because the one on those D6 is a raven, and it seems thematic and cool. And I immediately started failing every single one of my rolls, and I was like, "These gotta go. They gotta go back." I forgot how much they suck.
Yeah.
Jacob, can I borrow those next session?
Yeah, Harvey wants a challenge.
I need some failure XP.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, and then we're almost done here. Let's see, end of session. Alignment. Yep. Okay. Did you learn something new and important about the world?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Conspiracy.
So many things.
So many
There's
things.
a cult.
There's a cult. Yeah, there's well, a lot was made known to you. Everyone can take an XP for that. Did you overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Yes. I think so.
I don't think so. They weren't very notable in my.
Did you?
No, the first hitmen that my brother sent to kill us feel notable.
Did you? But did you not? Did you take a point earlier?
I mean, that's true.
So if you thought they were worthy, I feel like they're worthy.
Okay. Hey.
And
Also, worthy and noteworthy just means that they're like significant, right, to the story.
Yeah,
I
these
feel-
guys were significant.
Yeah, I feel like notable. It's meant to be vague and open to interpretation on how we want to interpret it.
Run it. Okay.
And then, shoot, we decided to do a new one instead of the normal one. I forget the wording, but it was, did you interact with, it was like, did you interact with a new NPC or
Yes.
or NPCs in general? Like, did you have a meaningful interaction with an NPC? And I would say so. You interacted with Morgan, and I felt like you all had a moment with Annabelle too, for the most part.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. And that's gonna end our session
Inspiration.
for tonight. Oh shit! How could I forget? Cool. Who was our workhorse for tonight?
It's one of you three.
I think Harvey was.
A lot of the heavy lifting, I feel, was done by Betty with those contract negotiations. This session wasn't about this combat at the end. It was about setting up our future adventures and whatnot.
In my mind, Betty's the role player, especially the contract negotiations.
That's also fair.
That's true. I mean, yeah, Harvey was definitely the workhorse, like during the combat.
It is possible to give Betty 2 awards.
It is.
I don't know. Can we do another one? Because I know who my fuck it that was cool was.
Yeah. Let's start with fuck it. That was cool.
Because I really want to give fuck it that was cool to Danny.
Yes,
Just for putting the money on the table.
That was good.
that was really fun.
Thanks, guys.
That was good. I also liked just the idea of Danny squirreling down alleys and hissing at people.
Yeah. Great, some great Danny moments.
Yeah.
This session.
Okay. So Danny got fuck it. That was cool. Who was our role player?
I mean, Betty.
Buddy.
All right, we're giving that to Betty.
I'll take it. I was gonna give it to Harvey for all the stuff with his brother.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to note. I just wanted to mention it.
Okay. And then we have the workhorse.
I think Harvey.
Okay, I'll take it.
Hell yeah.
I used all my inspiration, so I could use another.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Good
also.
job, team.
Good job, you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Sounds
see you
good.
next week.
Awesome.
Good
Thanks, you
night.
guys. See you later.
Night.
Good night.